This is what Liver King is having for dinner today. It looks like a delicious loaf of bread. Eat me, Liver King, I'm a delicious loaf of bread. But it's a testicle. Extra creamy because it's only a few hours warm. We got some heart from the beautiful Brethren Beast. Heart's always good. And I don't know if we have time to show you all of the sashimi, but if you're no fool, you already know liver is king. And look at the delicious number we got right here. Liver King Chef line with his favorite part. It's the mustard, AKA the bile.
There's no way you can look like that in your 40s. I mean, he's preposterously jacked.
Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. My name's Liver King. Man to man, I'm picking a fight with you.
This video is going to be about the meteoric rise to fame of the Liver King and his catastrophic downfall. And the downfall occurs when he is found out to be a master manipulator and liar. And it all culminates in his arrest for allegedly threatening the famous podcaster Joe Rogan. As you can picture from what I've already said, the Liver King is in a bit of trouble, and that is putting it mildly. But first of all, we are going to go on a deep dive to how the Liver King became so famous in the first place. The Liver King's real name is Brian Johnson, and he was born in Puerto Rico in 1978. Brian's father was in the Air Force, so as you can imagine, they moved around a lot. And not long after Brian was born, they relocated to an Air Force base in Texas. Unfortunately for Brian, his father passed away when he was just 2 years old, which meant he was brought up by his mum, and he also has an older brother. So it was just the three of them. Brian says himself that he was a very small child, but he was quite active doing skateboarding and BMXing. And he also played baseball. Even though he was quite sporty, he did get bullied a lot as a child, and he puts that down to his size and the fact that he did have a few medical issues, such as a speech impediment. By the time he got into the 8th grade, Brian had already decided that he was going to start working out. And looking at this picture, he looks like he's doing a pretty good job, doesn't he? And because of his newfound physique, he gained in confidence. And he is, in fact, a pretty intelligent guy. Brian went on to go to university where he majored in biochemistry. After Brian got his degree, he then moved to Houston, Texas, to start a new job as a pharmaceutical rep. Brian met his wife Barbara as he was on a ski slope lift going up, and 5 months later they got married, and she goes on to be called the Liver Queen by Brian. Barbara is also a very successful woman, and she owns her own dental practice. And after 10 years of practicing, she decides that she wants to be a stay-at-home mum and bring up their 2 children. And at the same time, Brian decides that he's going to start his own supplement company. And the Ancestral Supplement Company does really well. And it is alleged it is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. In 2021, Brian would go massive on social media. So on Instagram and YouTube, he had millions of followers on both platforms. And the reason he went so viral because he did everything so different. He was lifting weights, yes, and he became massive. He was seriously jacked, but that is not what he was viral for. It was for the fact that he ate raw meat, raw liver, testicles, hearts, everything raw.
This is what Liver King is having for dinner today. It looks like a delicious loaf of bread. Eat me, Liver King, I'm a delicious loaf of bread. But it's a testicle. Extra creamy because it's only a few hours warm. We got some heart from the beautiful brethren beast. Heart's always good. And I don't know if we have time to show you all of the sashimi, but if you're no fool, you already know liver is king. And look at the delicious number we got right here. Liver King Chef Lawrence's favorite part. It's the mustard, AKA the bile. Here's Liver King. Time for dinner today. It's good.
And you would see him going out and sometimes ending the life of these animals and cutting out the parts of these bodies and then taking a huge bite out of it, which I have to admit absolutely looks disgusting. Now, don't get me wrong, I love meat, but I actually like mine cooked. Yes, I will eat it rare, but raw, no way. I mean, raw meat you can get parasites from, which can cause huge amounts of problems for your body. He's also seen eating raw eggs from his own chickens. He goes into the coops, plucks a chicken egg, and eats it, shell and all. And these are the videos that made him go viral. Ryan also claimed that his muscular physique was all natural and it all came from the diet that he ate and the exercise that he did every single day. But that turns out to be a huge lie. People all over the internet were saying that a man in his 40s, there was no way that he had such a muscular physique without some kind of help. Now, two people that called him out. One of them was the famous podcaster Joe Rogan.
There's no way you can look like that in your 40s. I mean, he's preposterously jacked. Now that we know that he's full of shit, we're talking about the Liver King, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
And the other one was a guy called Derek, who is a fitness influencer and has his own YouTube channel. And his name on there is More Plates, More Gates. And he exposes Brian in 2022, and he managed to get hold of some emails that proved that Brian was taking steroids and human growth hormones, and he was spending an estimated $11,000 a month on these things. Within 72 hours of this video going viral, the Liver King basically becomes irrelevant. and he loses a huge chunk of his audience because he is selling this lifestyle and these supplements and saying that his physique is all down to that. But as I've said, he is lying and he is taking these body enhancing injections that pump up his body to the way that it is now. Now, obviously, these kind of things do also have a downside. They can make people mentally unstable, and in a way, this Brian guy reminds me of the video I made on Daniel Larson. And I'm not saying Daniel was on any kind of enhancing drugs, but he became manic because he wanted to become famous. And Brian, all of his life, had wanted to be famous. He wanted to be an influencer. He wanted to be a household name that people talked about on a regular basis. And the thing you've got to remember is allegedly Brian was making $100 million a year from these supplements. So as you can imagine, his downfall was extremely swift. What made it so much worse for Brian is that he was on all of these podcasts where he totally denied that he had ever taken steroids.
So the question has always been, do you take steroids? Do you take PEDs? The answer to that is no. And then, same question, same answer. I didn't touch the stuff, don't touch the stuff, right?
The short answer is no. I don't touch the stuff.
So again, for the record, I've never taken steroids.
And he even had a doctor come on to one of them who had taken his blood results, and even the doctor said that he was clean. And this was all a massive lie. In 2023, after Brian being called out, he did make a video admitting that he had lied.
I'm making this video to apologize because I f***ed up, because I'm embarrassed and ashamed, because I lied and I misled a lot of people.
But one thing about this video is that he's not even sorry in it. Yes, he admits he lied, but he is not sorry at all. There was also a $25 million lawsuit brought against Brian, but for some reason that was later dropped. Nobody seems to know why. And now we are up to date with what's going on in the present day. So Brian decides he is going to have a problem with Joe Rogan for what Joe said on his podcast, and Brian decides he is going to take matters into his own hands, and he threatens Joe Rogan in various videos.
Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. My name's Liberty. Man to man, I'm picking a fight with you.
Before we dig into the Joe Rogan situation any further, I do want to point out some things that I've noticed about the Liver King. I mean, if we look at the difference in his belly button in this picture, and now look at it in this picture, I mean, look at the difference. It looks like something is trying to physically crawl out of his body. And, there is some kind of serious problem going on there. And if we look at pictures of his eyes, in this picture, his eyes look fine. But in this picture, look at the left eye and see how enlarged his retina is. So there is definitely a problem going on there as well. And from what I've been led to believe, taking all these steroids and body enhancing drug can have serious consequences to the human body. They can definitely make a person mentally unstable. And this appears to be what is happening with Brian Johnson, otherwise known as the Liver King, at least in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not an expert on these things. The police actually see the videos that the Liver King is posting.
All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man.
Guess what? You're dead, bitch. You're dead.
You probably don't know who I am. My name is Liver King. I'm picking a fight. My fight is in principle.
Yeah, I'm on the road. Heading to you, Joe Rogan. You up. The Liver King cells have been activated all across the country. And here I come from North Carolina, straight to your punk ass. Joe Rogan, you're a trained black belt. I've got no training. This should be light work for you. But the thing is, it won't. Because you're a sub-primal.
And they contact Joe Rogan. And Joe says that he's never had any contact with the Liver King at all, but he does feel threatened by the video. So the police go and arrest the Liver King.
Yeah. And these items are for you.
And he spends some time being questioned, and he gets let out on $20,000 bail and wearing an ankle bracelet. And now he can't go within 200 yards of Joe Rogan. But does it all end there? No, it doesn't, because the Liver King carries on making videos about Rogan.
If your first name starts with a J and the last name is Rogan, I actually do invite your family, and I take it back. I invite you to come to meet my family. That's what I invite. But because of these things, the ankle monitor, stuff like that, and because of the law, I can't invite you to do that. Not tonight.
What do you think about what's happening? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.